Teacher talking sports, what it does, what it do, how we live. And let's continue the series I started not too long ago, where I attempt to name the best player in each franchise's history in the NFL, their all-time GOAT, of course, in my eyes, subjective. But we are doing the teams in alphabetical order, and today is the Denver Broncos. The Denver Broncos have been a franchise since 1960, so 64 seasons of NFL action, have made 8 Super Bowls and won 3 of them. Now, 2 off seasons ago, I did my NFL Mount Rushmores by team, where I attempted to name the 4 best players in each team's history. Last off season, I did my NFL Mount Rushmores by position, 4 best players in each position, NFL history. So, with each of these videos, I'm revisiting them to see who I named as the 4 best players for each team. Maybe go over if I would make any changes. Now, for the Denver Broncos, this is alphabetical order by last name. Started with Champ Bailey, who played 10 seasons with the Broncos, 34 interceptions. Terrell Davis, of course, had a 2,000-yard season, former Super Bowl MVP. John Elway, 16 seasons, all with the Broncos. Last 2 seasons won the Super Bowl. And Von Miller, who also won a Super Bowl with the Broncos and recorded 110 and a half sacks in his 10 seasons with the team. Some tough omissions, so some honorable mentions that I included for that Mount Rushmore were Steve Atwater, Shannon Sharp, Tom Jackson, Tom Nalen, Peyton Manning, Rod Smith, Demaryius Thomas, Lionel Taylor, Carl Mecklenburg, Randy Gradishar, Lewis Wright, Floyd Little, Dennis Smith, Simon Fletcher, and Chris Harris Jr. But I think I would keep the Mount Rushmore the way it is. Atwater, Sharp, very tough omissions. Rod Smith as well. But in the end, I believe it was a fairly obvious choice who the best player in franchise history is. That would be quarterback John Elway. Elway was actually the first overall pick by the Baltimore Colts in the 1983 NFL Draft. Famously refused to play for them. Went to the Denver Broncos, and as I previously mentioned, played 16 seasons for them from 1983 to 1998. First ballot Hall of Famer in 2004, part of the Hall of Fame, all 1990s team. He was the 1987 MVP. Also had MVP finishes of 2nd, 4th, and 5th in his career. Offensive Player of the Year finishes. Twice finished 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Elway was a 9-time Pro Bowler in his career. We take a look at his season-by-season numbers for his career. Threw for 51,475 yards and 300 touchdowns. Also did a lot of damage with his feet, which isn't shown here, but had 3,407 rushing yards and 33 rushing touchdowns in his career. Now, Elway made 5 Super Bowls with the Broncos, lost his first 3, but won his final 2 Super Bowls. Well, in his final 2 seasons, won the Super Bowl, and the final of them was named Super Bowl 33 MVP. 14-7 career record in the playoffs. In 1993, led the league with 4,030 passing yards. Had a total of 12 seasons where he threw for over 3,000 yards. Really didn't have great receivers for the early part of his career. Then got reliable ones in Shannon Sharp and Rod Smith later on in his career, and proved to be really one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. When I did my Mount Rushmore by quarterback, he was maybe my toughest omission. I included Manning, Brady, Unitas, and who was Manning, Brady, Unitas? Who was the 4th? Montana, duh. Anyhow, he might have been 5th, to be honest. Awesome quarterback. 148 and 82 and 148, 82 and 1 record as a starting quarterback. John Elway definitely made the Broncos relevant throughout his history as a starting quarterback. And to me, it's a fairly obvious choice. He is the best player in Denver Broncos history. Let me know in the comments, though, if you would consider someone else for that honor. Now, with all these teams, seeing if I believe any active players on the roster could overtake who I consider to be the GOAT, or at least make the Mount Rushmore. And to be honest, there really isn't anyone on the Broncos I would consider in that vein where I believe they could overtake someone on the team. I mean, Justin Simmons has been released. He had been really their Pro Bowl guy of late, but not really anyone else I would think could make the Mount Rushmore. But let me know in the comments maybe who your Broncos Mount Rushmore would be. Definitely interested in hearing that. Maybe I should say maybe a Patrick Surtain the second, although he is super duper young. But in his first 3 seasons, 2-time Pro Bowler, 1-time first team All Pro. Been doing these in alphabetical order, so next will be the Detroit Lions. Stay tuned for that. Anyhow, don't forget to subscribe. Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Like the video, share the video, hit the bell for notifications. I'm out.